Trapping plays a very important role in modern-day wildlife management. Professional wildlife biologists monitor fur-bearer populations to maintain a healthy and sustainable harvest of this important, renewable natural resource. Trapping provides recreation and income for licensed trappers across this country. Who's Your Trapper Outdoors is brought to you by Who's Your Trapper Supply. J3 Outdoors, manufacturer of the Hag Bracket and Body Trap Spring Clip. Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scents, Who's Your Trapper Deer Scents, and Leatherwood Wildlife Art.
Welcome to Season 9, Episode 9 of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors. On this episode will be our Tennessee experience last spring, late winter, and one episode is all we need for this one. So anyways, check that out. After this episode, we will go to our semi-live trapline segments for the rest of the season, and that's trapping that we're doing right around here just before work. Like, that most people kind of identify with that, trapping when you can fit it in. I want to thank our sponsor, J3 Outdoors. Jeff Haggerty's making an awesome product for water trappers primarily. Just good American-made product, high quality stuff we use and stuff we believe in. So definitely check out the J3 Outdoor products. I want to thank everyone for the orders. Appreciate that greatly. After all, that's what keeps all this going. If you haven't checked our website, give us a look at who'syourtrappersupply.com. Easy maneuverable site and everything that you need for trapping. Be sure to check out our how-to section on our YouTube page. So these are quick videos of that you can reference, everything from how to make a dirt hole set, how to skin a coyote, how to put together a drag, which is our most recent one that we put up. So definitely check that out. We're going to continue to add to this Trappers library, video library. Anyways, be sure to check that out. Remember our contest, Show Us Your Bottle contest for your successful hunt or trapping adventures. Product that you've used with the Who's Your Trapper Deer Scent or the Leatherwood line, which includes Top Dog Predator bait. Ideally, we'd like you to be in the picture, but you don't have to be. And get those entries in, and we'll have the drawing in March for two $100 gift cards for trappers and two $100 gift cards for deer hunters. And I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed the show. We're going to talk fast because it's been raining all day. First day in Tennessee, and excited about the property. It looks good. Got a lot of big deer hunting leases, couple big deer hunting leases, and I think some smaller farms coming up. But
the terrain looks promising as far as habitat and things like that for critters. So we'll see. The weather's kind of fighting us the next 3 days. We got rain, but there's a little bit of sign. We haven't seen a lot, just a few tracks and droppings of coyotes, but
yeah, we'll see how that plays out. Like Justin said, the sign's not over the top by any means, but sometimes that does or doesn't mean anything. So obviously we'd rather see it than not see it. So, but
right,
caught plenty of critters on where we didn't really see much sign. So
yeah,
we did see some bobcat tracks right here in the mud. They were a little bit old. Well, they could be today old because it's rained so much that
it's hard to tell.
Washed out. Right. So anyways,
we're just gonna punch them in best we can, fight through it, and see what happens for the rest of the trip.
Yep. See my jacket. This pretty much just tells the tale of the day. Pure mud. Walking around with boots that look like snowshoes. Just miserable. It's been raining, muddy, obviously. So if we were at home, we just wait it out. You wouldn't set it up. But we're 7 hours from home, and we're here to trap, and that's what we're doing. So, and it doesn't really sound like the forecast is getting any better, so we're just gonna have to deal with it. So, anyways, if we catch stuff, it's gonna be mud critters for sure. But anyways, see what happens tomorrow. We've got, considering the rain and everything, I think we have set 14 locations so far. So, yeah, not too bad. There's some sign here. We found some sign. Earlier, we weren't as excited about the sign that we were seeing, but we have definitely found more sign. So, anyways, we're going to set until dark, which we probably got about an hour and 15 minutes or so, hour and 20 minutes, and then we'll call it quits. So,
well, at least it quit raining.
It quit raining, and we're not in the mud. We're in a hayfield, so it's kind of nice to be out of the rain, for sure.
This is probably our last stop of the evening once we set this field up.
Yeah. We
got this corner where it opens up over here. Charlie's on one side, I'm over here. Another dirt hole. Using coveralls in that set. Hopefully running this edge or that edge. I can pick them up here. See what tomorrow brings.
Hags Trapping Products by J3 Outdoors, the most versatile and efficient trapping devices on the market.
We should have brought our waders. Here's Charlie's set. We're trying to catch predators, and that might be adequate for a beaver or otter.
Muskrat or something, yeah. This was all, I was actually trying to be conscious of low spots, and I misjudged this one here for sure. We had a lot of rain last night. I don't know how much, 2+ inches for sure. We don't have cell service, and we don't have TV or anything, so as far as getting information, we're pretty limited. But anyways, it rained a lot. Like, evidently more rain on the way. So we'll
do the best we can.
Yeah, this is check day 1. We're just getting started, but what we're doing on some of these, we're actually just going to leave that. That top dog actually functions very well in this kind of condition. So, and then we'll give it it's supposed to rain today and tonight, and then I think wind down a little bit on Thursday night or Friday. That's what we heard yesterday as of, So anyways, we'll see how it all goes. But
here's my set.
Justin,
the rain kind of packed it down. There's an exposed jaw a little bit. I just threw some coveralls over the top and kind of break it up a little bit with some pine needles, and that was it.
Yeah, we're just going to get through this the best we can today, and then once the rain kind of maybe slows down a little bit, we'll kind of regroup and see where we're at in terms of animal response to this. But anyways, check day 1, very wet, soggy, and standing water.
All right, first critter of the trip, real exciting one. Mr. Possum here got in a MB550. We're on this power line strip cut out. Charlie's working one edge, I'm working this side. In the past, we've set these. We've really never been,
They're always considered like a classic location, and we actually have never done very well on them.
Yeah, we catch some things here and there, but they're not like hot spots for us by any means, and we've tested that over the years. So
I mean, everything from numerous states to Mississippi, we did some good on them. Yeah.
And didn't we catch a cat on one of them in Mississippi?
We may have. I don't remember. But
I think so. But in general, as much as we've set them, we haven't really connected a bunch. But on this deer lease property, I'm sure he's happy to get rid of one more critter that's eating the corn from underneath their food plots and feeders. So
and eggs.
And the egg eaters for the turkeys here. Yeah,
So.
we've seen quite a bit of turkeys on this trip so far.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take care of this and remake it. It's not too destroyed. Definitely muddy. I can already see that the top dog is still there in the hole. Probably since we had a washout rain, probably hit it with some more urine and lure. So we'll see what happens. Check day one. Pretty much blanked out, caught the possum, and not too much else going on. 90% of the dirt holes were filled with water.
Yep.
Went to a new property not too far away and started putting in some more sets, trying to get under these pines to help. But I mean, we're soaked to the bone, making the best of it. I mean, the sets don't look pretty. I don't have a lot of faith in what's going to happen tomorrow, but you never know. You can't catch them sitting at home. So
Right.
we're at least getting something out here and see what happens.
So we've got, of course, rain all last night, a couple inches or so. It's raining right now, varying degrees of hardness of rain as the morning's gone along. Right now it's a little bit lighter. Rain all day, rain tonight, 50% chance of rain tomorrow. So like Justin said, we're trying to stay under the pines where it's a little more protected. We've already got established where the water's going to stand, which you can usually guess on that, but now we've got even a better idea. And on some of them, we're putting a little long distance down, which is mild here, but this long distance will hold up to all this moisture better. So, so we're doing that to help compensate for being washed out so much. The top dog is good in this kind of weather, so no issues there, but the lure itself. So anyways, that's what we're doing.
All right, check day two. This is the story of the day. Water everywhere. So if we had tried to drive some of these roads last night, we couldn't have got through. That's how bad the flooding was. So it went down fast, but everything's standing in water. Everything's muddy and pretty dysfunctional. So we're reworking sets, trying to get them up to speed. So hopefully the heavy rain's over. We can handle misty rain, light rain, but this heavy rain, that's a different deal. So anyways, we'll see what happens.
Never thought I'd be a model.
We're excited to show off some of our new long sleeve t-shirts that have been in the works for a while, but we finally have them in. We've got this nice navy blue color with the Hoosier Trapper Outdoors on the back. Then it's on the front again, and it's even down the arm there. And then we also have them in this dark green color. They are available on our website, obviously in person in our store, or we can always take an order over the phone. We appreciate you guys watching.
Leatherwood Trapping Sense. Success speaks for itself.
Check day three. This was the beginning of the check day three. So from the upper 60s and sun to probably 5 inches of rain, a tornado went through.
Flash floods.
Flash flood warnings, roads that are partially washed out, and now we've got snow on the ground. So it's been interesting to say the least. Unfortunately, we haven't caught anything yet. So anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This is crazy, but anyways, it's been an adventure.
Definitely got a mud ball over here.
I see that.
This set looked like it had a slight visit yesterday, and maybe it's the same one, maybe it's not, but was up on the bank a little bit. You can see this washout. I mean, we had so much rain I had to get up off the ground a little bit to help pack this set in mud. But had a little bit of coveralls, top dog predator bait, of course. I've been using bobcat urine on everything. And as far as the lure goes, I've been doing a lot of change up back and forth between black gold, finicky feline, and some long distance on some. So I can't remember which lure was on this particular set, but
He fell for it.
Huh?
He fell for it.
He fell for it.
Yeah, the challenge has been, everything's washed out and we're on the roads, so we're trying to avoid standing water or where water's been running, which has been definitely a challenge. So, but anyways,
Make the best of it.
check day 3. Glad we finally connected.
Yep. All right, here's the situation. Coyote's been dispatched, but you could tell, look at this trap. It is just not functioning. Ball of mud. It needs a lot of maintenance there to get that back in working condition. So I'll just cut it out of there. I'm going to put a fresh trap using the same bed and hole that was there originally. And I'm going to have to use coveralls because this is mud. There's some blood over here I'm not too worried about. I'm just going to throw some dirt over the top of it and keep going. But you can see here it's just cake nastiness, but the whole area smells like coyote, so shouldn't be an issue. I'll be packing that in with the same mud that's right there, and hopefully we can get another one that comes through off one of these trails. But yeah, 9 times out of 10 I use the same trap after catching the coyote, but under this circumstance with that ball of mud, definitely want to change it out, because that would just take too long to clean up. For now, we'll take it back home and clean it up. Alright, just caught a coyote at this location here, and we got a muddy mess. A lot of questions always coming in online and stuff in email about coveralls, when to use them, when not, are they good, are they worth it. This coyote we just caught was using coveralls, and there's a time and place for everything. Obviously, wax sand, wax dirt, all that's all great and all. That's a good way to get sets out in this type of condition, but not everyone, is thinking ahead, or a trip pops up on them, they got to go now, they don't have time to make it. You can buy coveralls right then and there and go out and use them. So that's the beauty of it. But a set like this, what I typically do, and I'll take some coveralls and put like a little base layer. You can see this stuff, you're just not sifting this stuff. I mean, it's just a cake mud.
The reference is we had basically 5 inches of rain.
Yeah, we had 5 or 6 inches of rain. I'm gonna bed this in here the best I can. I get it close to the hole. I'm using my spring to kind of help keep that jaw stable. The beauty of the mud, though, if it's not going to get below freezing, is you can get stable. That's already pretty stable without even packing around it. There are people that use gutter spikes and nails and things like that to help keep things in place. More power to you if you take the time to do that. It works. I noticed a lot of guys online, they hate coveralls. They just use peat moss, Well, peat moss, yeah, I like peat moss because it works. It has more of a natural look. That's an advantage versus the coveralls. But peat moss can hold a little more moisture than, say, the coveralls would. Coveralls won't hold the moisture. But if you're a guy down here in the south, that makes sense. If you're going to say peat moss, well, you're not dealing with freezing conditions near as much. So yeah, I would probably use peat moss more likely if I was down in Mississippi or here in Tennessee. But we're used to, at home, we get freezing conditions, and that coveralls won't freeze like that on you.
One thing about coveralls, as long as they're not standing in water, a pool of water, if they're damp or wet,
right,
they've got a natural wax to them, so it will actually break apart when something steps on them if they happen to clump up and get frozen a little bit. But as long as they're not standing in a puddle where they're going to turn into a popsicle, it's good stuff. So
yeah,
the downside, is like raccoons particularly like to dig at them because they're curious about it. They like the feel of them or whatever. And some animals may not fully commit because of the coveralls. But under the circumstances, this is keeping you going in very difficult conditions. So that's what we're doing. This isn't really an advertisement for coveralls. This is what we're doing. This is what we're using. They do work. They're not perfect, but they work. They definitely work. We've used them for years. So
that's part of the game, is just keeping this stuff working out in these conditions, just terrible conditions.
Better than sitting on the couch.
If your trap isn't working or functioning, then yeah, you're pretty much out of the game. But I mean, that doesn't have a natural look, but it does have eye appeal, and I think it does strike a little curiosity on some of these coyotes. Some might shy away, some might fully commit just because of the way it looks with a big old dirt hole and stuff debris. I do kind of try and break the edge up. I'll throw this stuff out here like it's been dug up out of the hole. Maybe blend some in on the back. I could take some grass and sprinkle over this, but I'm just going to leave it. There's some blood here from the dispatch. We're just kind of throwing some mud and dirt over it and calling it good.
Typically, we will have, if under different circumstances, we'll try to have some dirt that we can get maybe from under a stump or something that we can actually sit a little bit of dry dirt on top of this, or drier dirt. just
Yeah.
to break the outline of the coveralls, which is ideally what we'd like to do. But in this scenario right here, we just don't have that option. So this is what we're doing. So.
Some guys come prepared. They already have a bucket of dry dirt, you know. We don't do that.
We're just not prepared.
We're
actually,
making it work.
We did actually have some wax dirt. Justin made it, but we didn't have enough.
We ran through that pretty quick. As you can see, though, 6 inches of rain and all whatever it was, flash floods coming through here. I mean, it worked. We caught a coyote. So everything was mudded up. So I'm definitely going to re-lure and rebait and try and there's a lot of smell here, but I'm trying to concentrate it right here, right behind my trap. So we'll see what happens. I don't know if he ate the top dog or what, but I couldn't find it. So that's it.
All right, broke the ice. Check day 4. Pretty tough trip. One coyote, and now we finally caught a bobcat. So, and this is basically the end of check day 4. We got one trap left, and I can see it down here, and it's empty. So, one cat today. Better than nothing. It's a kind of the highlight for sure. It's what we're looking. That's ultimately what we want to catch. So that's always cool. When we were driving down along the edge here, and thing is just literally laying here asleep, just completely asleep. So I don't know if they figure they'll wake up and their issue will be over or not. But anyways, we'll get him taken care of. Dirt hole set, top dog predator bait, black gold, and a little finicky feline, and then some bobcat urine. So standard dirt hole set. Kind of got along this wooded edge right here, and then we've got where they take the tractors through here, and then it kind of goes down and goes over a creek. So we've kind of got, the brushy edge, the open gate area here, and then that road kind of continues down. So it's got several features going for it for sure. So anyways.
Top dog predator bait. Success speaks for itself.
All right, we got a coyote here that's not living his best life, that's for sure. Pretty hideous, but got an open field here, and creek that is behind the camera running the edge, and the entrance to the fenceway. Connected on this coyote, top dog, bobcat urine. I had black gold and some jet fuel. And he likes more top dog, please.
Yeah, he is.
This trip is right now a beautiful day. This is our last beautiful day. We're gonna get a bunch of rain in here, so this field's been kind of hard to navigate when it gets sopping wet, and we don't want to be tearing up the fields too much. So we're gonna go ahead and actually pull these in here today to get ahead of the weather for tomorrow. So
We got rain coming in tonight, and it's supposed to actually rain the next 5 days straight.
yeah.
So we're actually calling the trip 2 days early.
This county is under a flood warning watch, so that tells you how much we're gonna get.
We already had what 5+ inches earlier when we got here. So anyway, it's been a tough trip, real tough.
All right, second nasty coyote of the day. I'll tell you what, that's rough. And that might be part of the problem. We're just not seeing much coyote sign. They may have manged out. I don't know. But, earlier in the fall, late summer, there might have been plenty of coyotes. And at this point, they may just be losing numbers just to this. So, like I said, second one today with mange. So, feel bad for them. It's a tough way to go.
All right, we're third coyote of the day, another mangy one, nasty. Just like Charlie was saying on the one we just caught previously, good indication that these things might be manging themselves out with disease, and because there's not that much sign, and for the amount of traps we have spread out, it's not really,
This hadn't been productive.
yeah. So that's kind of what we're assuming at this point. Back leg catch, we don't get too many of those, so I can't recall what lure was there. Definitely top dog bait and bobcat urine. Had some rocks and that stick for the backing. Maybe that coyote was going to Marcus territory to hike a leg, or who knows, and nailed him on the back foot. But we're definitely going to do this coyote a favor and dispatch it. So
Now, just a kind of a scenario here. We are on a paper company, and it's a deer lease, a couple thousand acres, and so this is a just a food plot, and then the gravel road, of course, and then another food plot over there. So this is the only real change up essentially in this that we're in. So some of the clear cuts, they ought to just be loaded with sign, and there really hadn't been much sign. So, and everything's been washed out. So it quit raining 3 days ago, and it's going to start again tonight. So we've got 3 days, and we had one place where there's fresh coyote tracks, and that's been it. So, but anyways, third coyote today, second coyote on this particular property, and all of them with mange.
Yep.
All right, so this is the story of the last day that we're pulling traps here. We cut the trip 2 days early because of this heavy rain that's supposed to be around for the next 5 or 6 days. And last night, I'm sure there was at least 2 inches of rain. You can see the steering wheel's covered with mud. We're soaked to the bone. It's just pure muck and mud. And thank goodness we got 4-wheel drive. And we haven't found any quicksand yet. So. Anyways, it is a sloppy mess. This has been one. We had a 2 or 3 day break there where the 2 days with the very nice weather, and then one day was the transition day, and other than that, it's just been, this is it right here. So Tennessee has not been good to us. Question and answer. So one question came through, and the guy was he was predator trapping, and he was carrying 2 sets of equipment. He was carrying equipment for doing initial setup, initially making your sets, and then he was there carrying a set of equipment for remakes, which clearly some trappers do that. And he was saying, man, it's getting difficult to carry all this equipment around. It's just a lot to carry. And he noticed that we really don't do that. The only thing that we do is we have separate gloves for applying our lure and bait and urine, and then we use those gloves also to, when we're getting the animal out of the trap, that type of thing. So we have found that that's probably your best bet and most efficient way to do it. Whatever you do, an animal's going to know you were there. So you just want to try to keep that trap as clean as possible. So that's the reason we use the clean gloves essentially for the making the sets, and then the lure application glove for doing the remakes. Be careful with those gloves though. Even on a remake, if you've got lure directly poured on those gloves, then I would get some other pair then to for that remake. But overall, I don't feel that it's necessary to have 2 separate buckets or pack baskets or bags of equipment. Just the one initial bag, and then just be careful with what gloves you use. On that same note, there's always this question about doing a remake after you've made a catch and blood and all that. Just reset the trap. That location is far better than it was prior. And that blood, don't worry about it. You can cover it up with some dirt or whatever. You can, some guys go to the trouble of removing that. You can remove it, but that animal still knows that was there. I mean, their sense of smell is so much keener than ours. So you cannot remove the remnants of that entirely. So just remake the set. Somebody asked about, and this was reference to our new how-to video that we put up about drags. How do you bury all that 12-footed chain and the drag and everything? We don't. We just basically set the trap, and then we run the chain from the drag just to the. Typically, for some reason, I normally run it to the left. It could go to the right as well, but the left is how I do it. And then just throw the drag back in the brush, and then cover up the first 18 inches or so of that chain with leaves or whatever you have that's handy. And then just work off of it that way. You don't have to cover it up. And then, normally I'll throw the drag in the direction that I want the animal to go. And that's just me. I don't think it probably makes a whole lot of difference once that animal gets caught. But I'm throwing it towards the cover. So, and I'm assuming that in most cases they're going to go towards the cover when they're caught. So, another question, and this is a bit contentious, and this wasn't really a question. It was more just a question about the guy was a dog hunter, and told me, we use dogs to decoy coyotes, and then we shoot them or whatever. So, anyone know if we ever caught a dog? And there's this ongoing thing between trappers and dog hunters. It's gone on since the beginning of the time, and we as trappers need to be responsible and mindful of dog hunters, and on the other side of that, they need to be responsible and mindful of trappers. Both need permission, and both need to be in the understanding that both of us have a right to be out there, and we're really on the same side. So, the attitude that I'm the only one that's entitled to be there, or they're the only ones entitled to be there, it doesn't mesh at all. And on occasion things happen, but all of us need to be as responsible as possible, and just having an understanding that we both have a right to be there. So, but I'm saying the trappers need to be responsible when if you're setting up a farm and there's the farm dogs running around, you don't set it up by someone's house, and you're in communication with the farmer and say, hey, this is where I'm setting. Some farmers say, if you catch my dog, I'll just go turn it loose, no big deal. But on the other side of that, some people don't appreciate that. So the big thing on that is to be responsible trappers, and we expect dog hunters to be responsible as well. So dog hunters, there is videos on YouTube that fur takers and some other trappers associations have put up on how to release a dog from a trap if you're not sure. So here again, on occasion that may happen. So for your reference, that is available on YouTube. So another thing, the one last question, and several of these were obviously off of that new how-to drag video we put up, was how much cover do you need for drags? The better the quality of the drag you have, the less cover you need, but you still need cover. So if you have a really good quality drag, on a 12-foot of chain, you could probably get by in corn stubble, although I don't think I would take that risk. I don't want to spend 2 hours looking for a coyote. So you want reasonable cover and reasonable brush. And in most farm country, to be honest with you, I would never use a drag. Typically, we only use a drag if we can't get a stake in the ground, or we're in a visible location of a Forest Service road or something like that. So we try to use a drag where it's going to be a minimal amount of time to find the animal once it's in the trap. So here again, just got to be responsible on how you set that up, how you use the drag, just to make sure that it is going to get caught up in a relatively close vicinity to where the trap was originally set. So I think that's it for this time. Just keep those questions coming. Be glad to address them on the show. And I think I think all of this helps, because a lot of people have the same questions. They may not just ask it. So anyways, I appreciate the questions.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Who's Your Trapper Outdoors. Just wanted to let you know that we do have our new fall catalog out. It's got lots of great products in there, and photos. So if you would like to receive one, please visit us at www.hoosiertrappersupply.com, and it'll walk you through on how to request one. You can also print one out from there if you don't want to wait on one to come through the mail. We also would be more than happy to take a request over the phone at 317-881-3075. We are a complete trapline outfitter. We offer lots of great lures and baits, and we also have a complete line of deer scent.
Yep, and also while you're online, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, of course. We really appreciate it. You could give us a like or share if you can, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. That'd be great. And don't forget about the podcast that we have, the Trap House Podcast and the Fur Shed series. And also there's a Facebook group that I started called the Catch Circle, and that's open to anyone. It's a great trapping community. Ask questions, buy and sell lures and old traps, whatever. Anything trapping related is welcome. So we appreciate that. And we'll catch you on the next episode.
Yeah. Thank you for all the orders and supporting our small family-owned and operated business. We truly appreciate it.
Join us on December 11th for the next episode of Who's Your Trapper Outdoors.